Battlestations Midway was more of a game where it was kind of just like too complicated for just an average casual player. There was just a lot going on and it was a lot to take in. So IDOS promised a lot more of a simplistic approach to it, and yeah, they did it with Battlestations Pacific. So the controls still stay largely the same. I mean, it's quite complicated to get into, but with the addition of 2 campaigns instead of 1 this time round, it gives you a lot more of a tutorial and a step-by-step guide to how to control planes, how to control submarines, boats, everything. And it just feels like once you've completed at least 1, that you know most of the things, and then, you know, you can go on to the next one, bump up the difficulty, and you've basically got 2 stories, I guess, wrapped around this tutorial. Now, the story is actually, it's just a bit strange, really. They kind of did this weird thing where they stick 2 cutscenes, one at the start, one at the end, giving this kind of brief little look at these average Joes, and then this butterfly in the Japanese campaign. Now the main problem with the single player is that the mission structure, it's kind of just thrown together. I mean, you'll get some missions where it's proper action packed and you'll be able to control naval units, air units, everything. But then other missions you'll be limited, like the submarine mission in the Japanese campaign where you're sneaking into Sydney Harbour. It's just boring. You're just literally doing nothing the entire mission until at the end you kind of just fire a couple of torpedoes and done. And it's just that kind of weird mishmash of all these different missions that kind of just throw you off, and there's not really a constant flow. Also, some missions can just seem to plod along and you just seem to be travelling through the ocean and that's it, and it just seems too boring and monotonous. But then at the end of both campaigns you'll get these kind of massive battles that you'll be taking part in, and they're really fun. But then there's those little missions that you just won't get out of your head that you spend hours on doing nothing. The multiplayer is really fun. It offers 5 game modes to choose from. You've got Duel, which is kind of like a 4 versus 4 Gears of War style of rounds, and whoever kills the other team off, then they get a point, and whoever has the most points in the time allocated wins. But then you've got more complex game modes like Island Capture, which is my personal favourite, where basically you get any unit to choose from and you get like a kind of command point limit, and you just build whatever you want, and then you basically have to capture these islands and defend them to gain points, and again, whoever reaches the point cap wins. And it offers a lot. I mean, it's got 8 maps to choose from, but you can set these maps to be small, medium or large, so technically there could be 24 if you look at it that way. All the units carry over, and if you unlock some units in the single player, you can just have them in the multiplayer as well, so it kind of gives you that drive to complete the single player so that you can have the better units in the multiplayer. The graphics in the game look fantastic. They've really improved on the water effects, the inclusion of rain. You've got night and day maps, and the night maps are especially tricky as it lowers your visibility, and you know, that's where your mini-map would come into play, and you can kind of use this as a kind of RTS overlook of the entire battle. But as well as that, they've also got this destructibility aspect where bits of your ship will start breaking off. If you're in a plane, wings can snap off if you get shot at. Your boat can snap in two if it gets hit by torpedoes, and it just looks fantastic when it all happens. Maybe not the explosions, but it's kind of another exception that you can have. One thing which you can't get out of your head is the voice acting. Now, the Japanese especially, it sounds awful. Just the way that they say things, it's just horrible. The narration part of it is the worst. When you're actually in the combat and they're saying things to you, not too bad because you've got all these explosions. But when it's a quiet area, bad.
We have brought the American giant to its knees. Step by step, we have pushed the US forces back across the Pacific.
Wait! The T-3Ms with the torpedoes are still not on scene. Focus the attacks on the Prince of Wales first. Understood. HMS Prince of Wales, sir.
So if you can accept the bad Japanese voice acting, if you can accept the weak story with the butterfly and the girl, and also some of the slow plodding along missions, then what you have is a great game. You've got some really great action-packed moments, especially nearer the end of the campaigns, and the multiplayer will definitely keep you coming back for more, and there's just a bit there for the casual players and the more hardcore players. The controls are still not user-friendly from the get-go, but the more time you spend with the game, the better you'll become.